I had a big, like, afro, like a white kid afro, and I got picked on by Chinese kids all day. It's, you need a haircut, Guaylo. Stupid. Hello, listeners. I'm Byron Bertram.
And I'm Ivan Penaluna. And on today's show...
Greece pulls butt plug on European dream.
Oh, you guys like to tell jokes and giggle and kid around, huh? Giggling like a bunch of young broads in a schoolyard. Well, let me tell a joke.
I wanted this to be professional.
I don't gotta listen to this shit.
You certainly don't, pal. Because the good news is...
The dry shave show. The dry shave show.
Okay, so that's quite a juicy headline, isn't it?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know out there, I think we should give a bit of a backstory of what's happening with Greece. They're in trouble. They're in trouble because they haven't got any money, and they're in trouble with their German dominatrix, Angela Merkel. She's not very happy with them.
No, she's never happy. She's always reprimanding them. But they're bad kids.
They're bad kids.
They don't know how to play nice with the European Union.
They don't know how to play nice with her money.
No, they don't.
That's what it is.
And Germans, Germany's got a history of being angry at other parts of Europe.
I suppose that's one way of putting it, yeah.
Well, especially when you rip them off.
Well, it's like Greece is always going to Germany going, have you got some more money, Mum? They're out of money.
They're like this spoiled rich kid who's just like, Daddy, I want a new pony. It's like, I already gave you a pony. I want another pony.
Well, okay, let's be fair. They weren't like the spoiled rich kid until they joined the European Union, and then they're like that kid. Because the backstory is that basically, ladies and gentlemen, Greece, I remember in 1992, Greece and Italy, everybody was talking in the media about how they didn't fulfill the criteria to join the European Union, and that, they were wondering, how is Greece and how is Italy going to do it? And of course, where there's a political will, there's a way. So the people who are in charge of the European dream said, hey, don't worry about it. We'll find a way. We'll cook those books. And hey, presto, Goldman Sachs turns up and says, what you need is some credits that you can show you have on your books. And they said, that's a brilliant idea. And they said, do you know who are the people to solve that problem for you? We are. So Goldman Sachs gave them a load of this credit, and they said, just sign here. So as we all know now how this ends, right, when you sign here with Goldman Sachs. So they signed there and started to sort of like fill themselves at the trough like fucking pigs for the next sort of like 10 years and just spend everybody else's money thinking, we'll never have to pay this back. And so this is where we are right now. They've just elected a left-wing government who's not going to play ball with the...
Yeah, they're just like, we're not going to pay you back.
No, they're not playing ball with the Euro technocrats, and they're saying, hey, we're not going to,
we're not going to pay you back.
What money?
Yeah, what money? Never heard of it. Money, never heard of it.
Anyway,
we never had any of it.
So they've been spending it like
oh my God,
like a whore on crack, right?
They just Greece just does not care about paying back debts. All they care is just about having a good time and not following the rules.
Well, that's one way of putting it, I suppose.
But they're just like a meth head who just keeps trying to borrow money from you, and then you just keep forgiving the meth head.
Can you imagine Angela Merkel? I've got this image of Angela Merkel opening a purse and pulling out a few coins and going, there you go, do you think that'll be enough?
Yeah.
And then Greece turns around 10 minutes later and goes, I've spent that money, can I have some more?
It's like this homeless guy. It's like, why do you give panhandlers money? You give panhandlers money, and there was like, it's never enough. It's like, yeah, you got to give me. It's like, listen, Greece. Listen, I already give you, it's like, yeah, but can you buy me some food? Can you give me a hostel?
Listen, I think you've been a bit hard. I think you've been a bit hard on Greece because they are part of... they are a little bit like, they're caught between a rock and a hard place, right? On one side, they've got their creditors, and on the other side, they've got the Euro dream, and they want it, but it's coming at a price. It's almost like it's a Faustian tale, really, for Greece.
They're like Europe's dirty uncle, is what they are, They'll just like sexually assault you and then just try to borrow money from you and then say, go fuck yourself.
Well, the thing is, you're going to make a lot of Greek people very angry now.
Well, Mike's girlfriend is Greek. In my defense, she was lovely.
Yeah, but you've probably had, sex with a Chinese girl and a black girl.
No, she was lovely. Although she personally owes me $12 billion. but she did like anal.
Dear. Did you just say that?
No.
Having said all that, Greece is our topic. So what's in the news today?
This is the fucking news.
All right, go. In 5, 4. I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
This is the fucking news.
Fucking thing sucks. What is it for credit? I don't know what that means to play us out. What does that mean? Yeah, I can't read it. There's no words on it. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
This is the fucking news.
Our news today is ideas on how Greece could pay back their debts. Do you have any ideas?
They could sell everything.
They could sell everything. What are they going to sell?
Well, there's lots of shit. I mean, they could sell... Oh, okay, well, let's start with what they've already sold. They sold some ports to the Chinese. They literally just took a port and said, here, China, do you want to buy this? And they went, yeah, sure, we need some ports in Europe to, import all our shit through. And so they went, yeah, we'll sell you a port. So that's what they've done already. But, they could extend that. I mean, I know that Russians were always looking for beachfront properties, so they could just basically sell the entire beachfront property of Greece to the Russians, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they only have so much ouzo and feta cheese as well. And the place is literally in ruins. I don't know how much bang they're going to get for their buck. But you know what? John Stamos, he's a good-looking guy.
Who's John Stamos?
He was that Greek guy in Full House. Well, he's American, but whatever. He's Greek enough. Anything that's Greek, it doesn't matter what country from. If they're like born, raised in Algeria, if they got some Greek descent, then Greece will claim to them.
So if you're basically Greek and you live in North America, or you have Greek descent and you live in North America, you're basically Greek.
You're basically Greek, too. So you have a responsibility in paying off the debt.
Oh, you do you?
So I think we should get John Stamos to fuck Angela Merkel. That'll help a little bit. At least it'll get her distracted, and maybe she'll just be like, it'll warm up. Especially a woman at that age, she's a bit uptight.
I don't think she's ever going to warm up. Angela Merkel, I don't think she has fun. I think maybe a cup of tea and a couple of shortbread biscuits is her idea of fun.
Yeah, right.
Anything it's that doesn't come in PVC or leather.
Right.
Obviously. I think that's her real fun. I think she's got a serious dungeon.
They could try to trade Souvlaki for gold for retarded bankers. I don't know.
That's never going to work.
That's never going to work.
It's never going to work. So, do you know what they could do?
Put a Walmart on the Acropolis.
That's tasteless and tacky.
Yeah, but that never stopped Greece before. Have you heard Yanni's music?
I've been to Greece, but I think, I don't know. I think it's a bit harsh on Greece. Do you know what? I'm feeling sorry for Greece now. You're giving them such a hard time, and you're being so horrible about them. I mean, I know they spent all that money, but there's no need to sort of like take their fucking snout and rub it in the shit that they fucking...
Why? Just because you don't pay off a debt and you never pay it and you keep borrowing money and then you don't pay it and then you say, fuck you, I'm not paying you back, and all of a sudden you're like, I think we're being mean to them.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't think we're being mean to them in that respect, but I think we're being mean to them in that we're just being nasty about their personality.
Yeah, but that's what happens because we're hurt.
Okay, fair enough.
The world is hurt because fucking
Greek the world is hurt and it's all Greece's fault.
Well, yeah.
Well, you know what? It's a lot of countries' fault. I mean,
you know what? They could have another Olympic Games. I know they did wonders for Sarajevo after, and also they did wonders for Berlin. Just a few years after, boom, they were on the world stage.
Well, yeah, exactly. There is something to be said for that. Do you know what they could do? Greece could charge royalties for homosexuality.
Totally.
So
the big market there.
Every time somebody has homosexual sex,
most gay guys,
they have to pay Greece some money. It's just 50 cents.
It doesn't
matter.
Can
you imagine how much money they'll be making in no time?
And the fact is, I mean, I don't know if it sounds homophobic, but I have a lot of gay friends, and they got money. Do you know why? Because I don't have any women
or kids
and children stealing from them.
Yeah.
You look at you. You're married. You're heterosexual. You got kids. You got no money.
Yeah, I got no money, but they don't steal from me. They just drain me.
They drain you.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's it. I mean, it'd be very hard on my wife to say that of her, but the kids, absolutely, it's just what they do.
Yeah, well, they steal from your disposable income possibilities.
See, women steal from you, or you have this the perception that women steal from you because when you go out with them, they want you to pay for shit.
Oh yeah, and then when I try to like be anyway, I got to pay for everything.
You got to pay for stuff.
Yeah,
that's the rule. Just got to pay for stuff.
I don't mind paying for stuff. I just want to feel like just at least pretend to make an effort.
Well, they don't pretend.
And I think that's what Greece should do. Just at least pretend
to make an
that
effort.
You're going to pay them back. Like you can't come out and just say I'm not paying you back.
No,
everybody just thinks you're an asshole.
They're not saying we're not going to pay you back. They're just saying we don't like the terms. We don't like the terms.
Yeah, the terms are you lent us money and we don't want to pay you back.
No. What they're saying is stop shouting at us and treating us like a dick, and we'll be more reasonable with you. That's what they're saying now.
Nah.
No?
You're thieves.
What, you think that they're just basically... I know for a fact, I read the fucking papers. Unlike you, I read the papers, and that's not what they're saying.
What are you talking about? I watch Fox News. It's good enough, right?
So anyway, any other ideas on how they can pay their debts off? Come on, Byron.
They could have a yard sale. I know they got a lot of...
That'd be great.
They got a lot of broken statues.
I don't think you've topped my idea of selling beachfront to Russian gangsters.
Russian
That
gangsters
is-
love beachfront property.
Because they had a problem in Cyprus, which was that was their playa del choice, if you will, and that went all sour for them when the Cypriots decided that they were going to basically tax them 60% on any savings in accounts in Cypriot banks. But anyway, that's a while ago now.
And
So
say what you want about gangsters, but they're good for the economy.
can I say something about the new Greek finance minister, right? Turned up to a meeting with George Osborne in Britain, dressed in a leather jacket, like he'd just come from a meeting with Russian gangsters. I'm not
probably
joking.
did.
You can check this shit out. Go and Google the new Greek finance minister, and I guarantee most of the pictures, he's in a leather jacket.
You know, Greece could also do is try to have a better cup of coffee. I went to Greece with my ex-girlfriend, and their coffee is garbage.
No,
It's just
listen.
Nescafe, and they brag about it. It's like, is Nescafe, you have a Greek coffee? And it's like, yeah. Oh, like, has anybody shit in my mouth? They're like, yes, you must have somebody shit in your mouth. It's a Greek. They take pride in garbage.
You know what? That's just offensive because Greek and Turkish coffee is a certain style.
Turkish
mud.
coffee's way better.
Okay, it's mud.
Never say that to a Greek guy.
Listen, it's mud. It's the way they fucking drink it. I mean, you know, I don't like it, but that's the style. I think that we're just digging a hole here with Greece.
Anyway, maybe Greece should just join Asia.
Do what? You just
join Asia. Let China pay them
Oh,
off.
can you imagine Greece joining Asia? Asia's going, oh yeah, you think you're going to try that shit over here? Oh, had enough of there, have you?
Well,
It's like
you
a
know
cat. Okay, you know what Greece would be like then? Greece would be like a fucking cat that gets fed at one house and then goes and befriends an old lady and gets fed at her house, or just fucks off for a month, gets fed, gets all fattened up, and then comes back and goes, that was good.
Speaking of which, my ex-girlfriend is Greek. Dumped me to go to Greece to save cats. I'm telling you, these
Well,
people
there
are
you go.
fucked.
Do you know what? I think there's some resonance and truth in what we're saying right now. But anyway, let's get on. We've got a new section that we want to introduce everybody to, and it's called
Catastrophe.
You got 6 accounts now to retweet your own shit. Perving on celebrities for 3 seconds of fame. Oh yeah. Your likes and our tweets rarely get picked, 'cause we see your deal and your bullshit is twins. It's twitastrophe. We want twins. It's twitastrophe.
Twitastrophe. It's a great name. I love it.
Actually, before we get into catastrophe, we just want to say, if you have any more ideas on how to help Greece out, by all means, tweet us at The Dry Shave Show. Anyway, so back to our segment, catastrophe.
So hang on a minute. The punctuation on that was awful. What you're trying to say is tweet us at The Dry Shave Show.
Yeah.
Not The Dry Shave Show.
Yeah, no,
Right.
at The Dry Shave Show.
Fuck. Do you do voiceover, don't
The
you?
Dry Shave Show. I don't know if the intonation matters when it comes to
It
just
does,
letters.
because they're expecting more. When the way you did it first, they're expecting more.
All right.
Did I miss some of that? Is that .com?
No, just no.
.ca? What
No,
is that?
it's a Twitter handle. So you don't
Okay,
even know
I
anything
know.
about Twitter.
No, come on.
You know what? You're a catastrophe. That's what
I'm
I'm
a
telling you right now.
catastrophe, yeah,
that's
I'm an
what you
idiot.
are. You're a catastrophe. You're a little catastrophe. You are.
I'm an idiot. Right. So tell me about Twitastrophe. How does this work, Byron?
Basically, this works is a celebrity usually says something stupid or controversial that's in the news, and we're here to break it down, what happened, scrutinize them, talk about it. And so this week's catastrophe is Michael Moore.
Michael Moore. So what's Michael Moore been up to?
Michael Moore, well, he's fat and he's opinionated, as usual.
Well, that goes with the job. He's a documentary maker. Or
Yeah.
he was. I haven't seen him for ages.
He looks like an angry comic book store manager who's fat and ugly. Nobody will sleep with him, and therefore he's better than you.
He does, but he's got a lot more money than those guys.
He does. He is better than them.
So anyway, he's not been getting a lot of action recently, in that he hasn't been getting a lot of profile, and he's reared his head above the parapet, excuse the pun, and he's had a snipe at what?
He's had a snipe at the snipers. He basically, the movie American Sniper came out.
Yep. Not seen it. You seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Right.
But apparently there's a fake baby in it and it's nominated for an Academy Award.
And it's made by an 85-year-old Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, who talks to empty chairs, so whatever. Anyway, so his tweet was, my uncle was killed by a sniper in World War II. We were taught snipers were cowards. We'll shoot you in the back. Snipers aren't heroes, and invaders are worse.
Right. Can I start at the beginning with that? We were taught means that it's such an emotional tweet, and I don't discredit that completely, but he's supposed to be a documentary filmmaker and be taken serious with something political, a statement, right? We were taught, that means in his house, growing up, he was taught that snipers were bad. Why? Because they shot his uncle. Well, that's fair enough, that's understandable, but it's a localized, emotional thing. It doesn't relate to anybody else.
It reminds me of one of the most offensive best jokes I've ever heard of, though, in my life, and that is, but you got to be emotional when telling it, and you go like, the World War II is terrible. Oh my God, the tragedies. In fact, my grandfather died in a concentration camp during the Holocaust in World War II. Long pause, and there you go. He fell out of a guard tower. Boom, hey-o, because he was a Nazi.
You should put that on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then we can do you next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Catastrophe. Byron Bertram says something silly.
Anyway, I'm very white.
Right. So basically, the other thing about that is that Michael Moore, going back to Michael Moore, right? And I love the way you try and turn everything around about you. But anyway, going back to Michael Moore.
By the way,
right?
at Byron Bertram. That's my Twitter handle.
Is there anything else on that?
No, anyway.
Okay. So going back to Michael Moore saying this stuff about snipers. You don't like snipers, they're cowards. I think it really it illustrates how naive he is about the realities of war. It's like, you're saying, well, landmines are bad. Yeah, of course landmines are bad. Tanks are terrible. Of course tanks are terrible. Machine guns, they're terrible. It's all fucking terrible. It's war.
I was taught that grenades don't feel good when you leave them in your hand and don't throw them.
Yeah, and also this idea that he has to tell us that snipers are bad. We know that snipers are bad, and we know that flamethrower operators and machine gunners were treated in the same way in both World War I and World War II. But it seems to illustrate a certain naivety about the reality of war and the elements and personalities that make it up.
Well, there's snipers on both sides of the fence too. Whatever. That's true. I don't like cars. I don't like stuff. I don't like stuff that kills. I don't like diseases.
Well, yeah, and also I think, the last bit of that is like, and invaders are even worse. So he's got to get that in. It's like, if you want to make a serious point, but don't go, and invaders are worse. It's a childish.
Yeah, it's kind of a childish.
It's childish fucking stuff.
It is, yeah.
It really is. You should think through it.
I think basically in that tweet is just like, I haven't made a movie in a bit. Nobody's paying attention to me. I don't like mean people. It's
exactly.
Basically, I don't like mean people. It sucks.
Nobody's paying attention to him. More people are paying attention to an 85-year-old Clint Eastwood that now makes bloody propaganda movies.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. And he's upset about that. And I would be as well. But he needs to get off his ass and start making some documentaries.
He needs to put the cheeseburger down. He's get on the treadmill, start writing some scripts about left-wing propaganda.
Yeah, exactly. Just start doing that shit again.
Yeah, I used to like him.
Yeah, I used to like him, but there's so many people who do that sort of stuff so much better now.
I know, but then I was like, oh, wait a sec, he's lying to me too. Okay.
Yeah, he's lying to you too. I mean, this is the same thing with The Daily Show, right? The Daily Show, we were talking about this the other day. I used to love The Daily Show when George Bush was in power. As soon as Obama got into power, I thought they're going to do the same thing to Obama that they used to do to George Bush. Wrong. It isn't satire. It's just liberal journalism. And they don't do that shit because they're on that side of the fence.
Yeah,
and as soon as they stopped doing that, I lost all respect for them. They're not even funny anymore because they don't play the game that a true satirist should, or a satirical program should, and it should be impartial, ride the line down the middle between two and take the piss out of them equally. It doesn't do that.
Everybody should get shit on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, where are we going?
And I'm not talking about politically. I'm just talking about my sexual preferences.
Where are we going? This is actually quite. This is probably quite apt actually, because we're going to go into our. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, actually. Let's talk a little bit more. We're not
about me liking shit. I was joking.
Go on, just talk.
Speaking of which, there's a glass table in front of us. That's why I thought of that. That's disgusting.
It's primed for cocaine and German prostitutes having a poo on it, isn't it? I see a glass table nowadays. I just think German prostitutes, poo, and cocaine.
Yeah. I love the way you say poo, too. It's great.
Poo. No one gets upset with poo, especially if you say it in an English accent.
No, because you have an English accent, and it just sandwiches the dirty, even though that's the dirtiest. It's like prostitutes, cocaine, with German. Yeah, anyway, it's lovely.
Yeah,
It's a trifecta of beauty.
I bet it sounds better in German, though.
It does.
I don't know how you'd say that. There you go.
Scheißen.
You should tweet Angela Merkel and ask her how to say that in German.
Yeah. What if she got back to me right away?
It's just like wringing her hands.
Wouldn't it be great to break into Angela Merkel's Twitter and just be like, Greece, don't worry about it.
Yeah, we're writing it off.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Or she goes...
We still feel bad about the war.
No, she goes, do you want me to send the boys down? Don't fuck with me. Yeah. Or we start a war between Greece and Germany. Well, you do, because I don't want it on my conscience. I want you to have to wear that.
Signed
yoke.
sincerely, SS, Angela Merkel.
Dungeon mistress.
Dungeon mistress. She looks like a high school principal who's just going to expel the entire class.
She looks like she might enjoy giving you a really hard smack on the arse with some sort of like piece of leather or something.
She looks like she hasn't got laid in a week.
A week? I think that's being very generous.
Well, she's German.
Like 35 years.
Exactly.
So anyway, where are we? We're just going to keep on going. I don't know. This new format is amazing because we've got lots of time. Well, we had the same time as we always did, but it just feels different. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who knows?
So, no, well, I do know. We have exactly the same time. That's what we have.
We do have exactly the same time.
So,
but I mean, Twitter's an amazing thing.
Well, Twitter's it's a weird thing, isn't it? I mean, I know that it's a lot of the people who use it. Well, some people say that the level of writing on Twitter is the highest that you'll come across in any social media format. And obviously, I appreciate that. I understand it's 147 characters. You have to be very disciplined and very controlled to control that.
But yeah, you can only write one line, and then Twitter's. I feel like I write some funny tweets, and then I'll get them retweeted, and then I'll lose followers. I don't understand.
Oh well, welcome to the real world.
Yeah.
What if you actually say what you think?
I say what I think, and then people just unfollow me.
You fucked.
I know.
Yeah, if you say what you think, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You have to say what everybody wants you to say.
I'm usually good at that because I'm a people pleaser, and I just don't have an opinion.
Yeah. You just have to say what everybody expects you to say. That's all.
That's why you're my friend. You could have an opinion for me.
Well, I could sell you an opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway,
by the way, if you got a catastrophe you want to share with us, by all means, tweet us at The Dry Shave Show. And that brings us to a brand new segment, tonight's editorial, presented by Ivan Penaluna.
Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper drew criticism this week by appearing to suggest that mosques are places where followers may be radicalized. Outrageous, I know. Harper immediately faced accusations of Islamophobia and calls for him to apologize from NDP leader Thomas Mulcair. What was not mentioned, though, was that the comments stemmed from a question asked by a journalist concerning the newly proposed C-51 Canadian anti-terror law. Asked how to distinguish between teens messing around in their basements and someone who is radicalized, Harper said it would be a serious offense no matter who you are. It doesn't matter what the age of the person is, or whether they're in a basement, or whether they're in a mosque or somewhere else, he said. Now, whilst I don't often find much cause to agree with our Playmobil president, the idea that this comment might warrant an apology or the label of Islamophobic would be laughable in a sane world. However, as anyone who's been paying attention recently can confirm, we do not live in a sane world. We live in a world where those who overwhelmingly control the narrative slam such comments as racist, and everyone falls in line for fear of being labelled something nasty. These are the same people who have steered public policy in Europe to the point where France now requires the deployment of 30,000 troops to police the final stages of an experiment in multiculturalism. But Mulcair is not alone in championing this particular brand of perverse logic. He's part of a broader narrative currently seeking to disassociate Muslims and Islam in general from Islamic terrorism. Every week, President Obama or some other European leader like Angela Merkel gets on TV and tells us that Islam is a religion of peace. Well, if it was, you wouldn't need to keep on telling us that. Someone blows some shit up or beheads an entire village, and President Obama gets on telly and tells us Islam is a religion of peace. What's the matter with you? Are you not watching the same news that everyone else is getting? It's not offensive to suggest that Islamic radicalization takes place in mosques, given the overwhelming evidence that it does every day all over the world. It's like saying they don't sell candy at the candy shop. It's more offensive to suggest that people who live in basements are potential terrorists, given the lack of precedence. So, what of the basement-dwelling kids messing around with stuff? What about their feelings and rights? After all, there are literally millions of them infesting cold and damp basements across this country. As yet, there has been no comment from them or their parents, who obviously don't have anything like the sort of victim status that Muslims enjoy in liberal Western societies. But you would have thought, as Harper was much more detailed in his comments on the kids in basements, it would have elicited some response. We tried to contact the Federation of Nocturnal Bonchonging Basement Rodents that pass for teenagers in North America, but they were busy watching Storage Wars and unavailable for comment. Perhaps Thomas Mulcair should consider the damage to their reputation caused by Prime Minister Harper's comments. After all, demographically, they massively outnumber Canada's manageable Muslim community and one day might actually get around to voting. And when they do, they'll probably vote for him. So that's my editorial, the first of many, I suppose. We'll be having guests do editorials, and various people will be doing editorials. It won't be me.
So you just thought you just kick down the doors screaming with a heavy one.
I do dick jokes as well.
Jeez, yeah, no kidding. That's wow. Yeah.
There you go. I knew exactly what you're going to do, and you've done exactly what I thought you were going to do.
Well, just be like, that's some heavy stuff. Well, why are you going to need to talk about your opinions? Why can't you just be Yeah, you're right. Well, that's why I don't have an opinion, because you could have one for me.
Well, yeah, exactly. You may as well give me your allocation of opinion, and I'll use it.
Right. So you could debate for and against it.
Well, no, I'll just use twice as much for.
Right.
That's what I'll do. I'll just double up my power.
Yeah, no, exactly.
That's what I'll do. But anyway, we'll be having guest editorials, and
every week. So you could be talking about just be extreme example of a political, and the next one will just be like what I think about the smell of balls.
Exactly.
Boom.
Someone comes on and talks about how they like suede elbow patches on jumpers.
Yeah. Next week it'll be like the Natchez should get into power, and then the week after it'll be like I like cats.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's going to be like.
Totally. So every week, you never know what you're going to get with the editorial. But we always want to end things on a high.
Don't we just?
Don't we? We do.
So anyway, so that's my editorial for this week. And we'd like to end things on a high. And who better to accomplish that but our friend Narj Singh, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Narj.
Debt. It's on everybody's minds. The more I contemplate the Greece situation, the more it seems impossible that they didn't see this coming or even planned for it. It's not so much a Greek bailout as it is a bailout of big German and French banks. Yes, you have heard this story before. The free market is a great place until the moment some bankers might lose their bonuses. The Trojan horse here was the euro, and Greek knew it and did not care. Maybe they wanted some of that German rainy day gold teeth stored in those Swiss banks. The problem is not debt, but interest. All Eastern and Western religions are against it, yet nobody ever talks about it. One of the first things that Jesus apparently did was to kick the moneylenders out of the temple. And now all that Jesus' followers are worried about is buying Pat Robertson's gay repellent necklaces. Apparently they match those AIDS-causing rings that homos apparently wear. We are all mired in debt. Because of vanity, we constantly need new things when the old ones are just fine. Maybe the Greeks would have been better off if they stopped breaking all those dishes all the time. Greece and all of us should just march away from all loans. Start all over again. Tabula rasa, clean state. I know, we were taught that we should always respect our debt and our loans. But then we were taught many things. Michael Moore was taught to hate snipers. I was taught not to eat cow and to hate Muslims. But I do both. On March 29, 2013, Good Friday, I walked away from everything. Jobs, house, car, security, jail. I'm working on living off the grid now, and Jesse Ventura is my prophet. I already have a spot, a canoe, crossbows, arrows, guns, ammos. I recommend everyone do the same if you want to be happy at the ending or lubricate liberally. Thank you. My name is Narj, and cook yourself some chicken and enjoy it with some rice. And because chicken is good, whether you are cooking your chicken or choking your chicken, have a happy ending. Thank you.
And that was Narj Singh, everybody, with happy endings. That
Did you like that? Did you?
I did. It was like heavy editorial, and then like a heavy editorial ending, but he ended it with a masturbation reference. And I like masturbating and Jesse Ventura.
So you're happy with that?
Definitely happy with that.
Yeah. Would you like to masturbate Jesse Ventura?
No, well, not really. I mean, I'm a big wrestling fan, but
Are you used to be when you were a kid?
I was
weren't
a
you?
huge wrestling fan as a kid.
That's right.
In fact,
forgot about that.
I would straight like body slam my hands in ADD out in class, and like my teacher would just be like, "What are you doing?" I'd be like, "Body slam, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, figure four leg lock," and I'd just be like wrestling with my fingers and hands, just because I was just in this different world of wrestling.
Did you tell me that you had? Sorry, Narj. Tell me that you had a mullet while you were doing this.
I had a big like afro, like a white kid afro, and I got picked on by Chinese kids all day. It's, you need a haircut, Guaylo. Stupid.
Guaylo, yeah, I remember that word. It means whitey in Cantonese.
It means white devil, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I knew a guy who used to masturbate to Jesse Ventura. He came from the Arabic countries, and WWF was big in there, and it was the only place you could see men sort of half undressed, grappling with each other. He called it gay foreplay and turned him on.
Are you speaking about yourself in a third person?
Maybe, I don't know.
You got to get your pleasures where you can.
Right.
Yeah, for me, it was like staying up late on Friday nights, 11 o'clock on BBC Two. They always had a French movie that is always about two teenagers and in a shitty little Renault car who just had enough money to drive around from farmhouse to farmhouse buying wine and bread and shagging. And they did a lot of shagging. There was a lot of sex in it, and that's what you used to stay up for when you were 12, 13.
I remember when I was a kid, like in the late '80s, there would be like we'd have a black and white TV, and porn would be on like the other channels, like the pay-per-view channels, and you could get them in, but it'd be this distorted imagery because you had to pay for them.
Yeah.
So, but if you could make it out, and it'd be like this sort of. You could sort of make out like this tit or something occasionally. So you're just like masturbating, just trying to get this image of this tit before it gets all like distorted out because you didn't pay for the channel. You like blow a retina just trying to like get a good image of a tit.
Is this where your obsession with Predator came from?
Pretty much.
Fair enough. Because have you ever wanked over Predator? Because I mean, if you had that training as a kid, chances are you're going to find Predator sexually attractive. Well,
there's before Whoopi Goldberg movies that I masturbated to.
Cut that.
But two of them were sister acts, and you couldn't see her hair.
No, that's even more disturbing.
Yeah.
You knocked one out to Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act.
I think at that age, just everything.
Everything, just you squirting machine.
But that just like it wasn't even just women; it was just objects, anything that excited me. It'd be like Transformers. I'd masturbate to.
Really?
My dirty book when I was a kid was one I found in this library. It was called the Illustrated Greek Mythology, and boy, did it have some really dirty pictures. But it was right there in the library, and everybody thought I was being like really studious.
Yeah, that's because it's art. Art, you're allowed to get away with anything.
But were you touching yourself in the library?
Well, yeah, of course, but in the
and they still thought you were a good student. You're like, he's really focusing.
Yeah, because they had a quiet room in the library where you could like go in and prepare for exams or like for a debate or anything, and you could like book that room. So I was always in that room reading the mythology of the Greeks.
I like the way the show goes. It's like radical Islam into jerking off when you're a teenager.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That nothing says a Dry Shave Show like
more than all of these.
More than like
it's a cornucopia of content.
More than strong opinions about Islamification and then having a wank when you're 14.
That's what it is. It's a cornucopia of meaty content.
Absolutely.
That's what we like to. We should have that on a slogan or something like that.
Cornucopia is a big word. It wouldn't fit on the logo.
The cornucopia. We'll just have a picture of a cornucopia full of meaty content. How about that?
Absolutely.
And then that will sum it up. That could be our logo.
A cornucopia of meaty content.
All right, like what about a kebab in a cornucopia? For those of you who don't know what a cornucopia is, it's a horn. It's a horn of plenty. It's from Greek, is that right? It's Greek or Roman, one or the other. Anyway,
cornucopia. It sounds like just like upside down cunnilingus or something. It's weird.
It's It sounds like it sounds like it's misconceived sexual act.
It's something that's illegal in 14 states.
Narj?
I wouldn't know.
Cornucopia?
Cornucopia. No, it is, I think, Greek or something. You see it at feast
Yeah, it's
pictures
definitely Greek or Roman.
feasts, yeah.
I think it's probably Greek. I think it's because it's mentioned in the tales of Jason and the Argonauts, the Odyssey.
Everything's Greek.
The Odyssey. So anyway, there we go. We're just clutching our way through this. This is not in our time with Melvin Bragg.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think we could probably close this out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks for listening to the show. Oh, by the way, you're going to do anything? We plugging ourselves? Any shows? Anything you want to plug at all? Besides,
no, just this.
Greece.
Just this. And also, if you have any, thanks for listening to the show. Please do tell a friend. If you have any ideas, you want to comment, email us at thedryshaveshow@gmail.com.
Once again, that is thedryshaveshow@gmail.com.
Oh, that is .com. Okay. And you can find us and like us on Twitter and Facebook.
Subscribe to us on YouPorn.
Well, that's you.
That's me.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Good night.